morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to look at a bit of a surprise new Pokémon V, one that I did not expect to be coming. It is Breloom V. Now, if anybody's wondering which set it's going to be coming around in, it is going to be a gym promo over in Japan. So it is likely, not guaranteed, but it is likely to be in its own promo set over here. So we could look at something like Hatterene V, for instance, which was a gym promo over in Japan, at least if my memory serves me correctly it was, and then came out as a promo over here. So not only should we expect to get this Breloom V as a promo, but we should also expect that it will come with a jumbo version of it. If you like Breloom or you love the artwork, great news, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you're going to have it. Now, I need to give a shout out to PokeGuardian.com here. They did hook me up with the image of Breloom V, and then I took to Twitter to try and find a translation, because you'll notice that Breloom V has actually been revealed in Chinese, not in Japanese. We couldn't go to the usual lovely Antoine Boulet. But we did have another lovely person, Lorelei Feliel, and I'm really sorry for the pronunciation of your second name there. I am struggling massively, but Lorelei hooked us up with a translation of the one bit of the card we needed a translation of, and I am extremely happy and grateful for it. So what do we see? Well, we got 210 HP, which is pretty standard for a Pokemon V, nothing particularly good or bad there. We've got a retreat cost of 2, which isn't terribly low, but we've got Air Balloon, and anytime we've got Air Balloon, I'm feeling alright about it. We've got a weakness to fire, which is not the problem it's going to be. By the time this comes out, we're basically talking pre-rotation. Sorry, post-rotation. Pre-rotation, Welder and all of those decks, big problem. Post-rotation, you've still got Victini V, with the 2 energy attack, and the fact you can accelerate energy either with this or with the V. Weirdly, the V from Sword and Shield and the V Max from Battle Styles actually have the same attack, which is a bit weird, but it accelerates energy. I expect Victini to be good post-rotation. That is pretty much the only fire I expect to be good post-rotation, so I think Breloom's doing alright. As for being a grass Pokemon, you're hitting weakness on Umbreon. And I do think Umbreon VMAX could be nuts post-rotation, or pretty much as soon as it comes out, which will be post-rotation. I do have a lot of hope for Umbreon V and VMAX. I'm not loving grass as a type yet, but don't forget we can always accelerate energy with Rillaboom, for instance, which is kind of nice, so it could be worse. We can also accelerate energy with Cherim, but do remember that Cherim only works on Pokemon that don't have a rule box, and unfortunately, this being a Pokemon V, absolutely does have a rule box. Now, the first attack is one we are excited about, and essentially what we've got here is 20 damage. If this Pokemon was damaged by an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does that much damage. And if the effect here is correct, and I believe Lorelei, I believe this is correct, then I know the wording is correct, because this is actually the same attack we see on Cinderace V Max. Oh no! Now, Cinderace V Max here is actually 30 plus, this is 20 plus, but Cinderace is also a 3 prize V Max, this is a 2 prize V, so I'm willing to allow it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not terribly upset that it's doing 10 less damage, because it's also the same attack cost, right? We're talking about 1 grass, 1 colorless, as opposed to 1 fire, 1 colorless, so a colored energy and a colorless. And this is cool. I like this. The problem is, this seems like the kind of attack, and certainly Cinderace VMAX, I've played against it plenty on the ladder on PTCGO, but I've not really played against it a huge amount in, actual tournaments. And the reason, basically, is that I fear it's too easily played around. Now, this makes it a great option in terms of buying a turn, in terms of buying a little bit of time. If my opponent can do 210, great. Do 210. Get a KO. But if they can't, then that leaves them with an extremely awkward decision to make. Do they attack into Breloom, knowing that they will take that much damage plus 20 back? Or do they not attack? And that's still a win for you, because if they don't attack, you get a turn without being attacked. So if they can get a one-hit KO, then Breloom kind of a bit rubbish, unfortunately. If they can't get a one-hit KO, then you put your opponent in a super awkward position where they've basically got to choose between either they attack you and take more damage back, or they don't attack you and they basically give you a free turn. Either way, it seems like you're in a better position at that stage. So I kind of like this. I also really like it in like hit and run decks. So you attack, you flick to the bench, and then you put Breloom active, and if your opponent can't get a one-hit KO, they could put themselves in a little bit of trouble. Now, at this stage, there are a couple things we need to mention, and it's all related to the fact that Breloom V is a single strike Pokemon. Yeah, don't worry, we were going to get to it. And the thing is, right, as a single strike Pokemon, we've got Houndoom. And Houndoom is awesome, because it basically turns this into a single energy attack. Because Houndoom can accelerate a single strike energy, which incidentally will also mean you do an extra 20 damage, and no, single strike energy doesn't count as grass, but it absolutely does count as colorless. So you accelerate with Houndoom, attach a grass energy or another energy that will count as grass, and then you can be going. And that's what I love about Breloom, and it's one advantage you have over Cinderace post-rotation. Obviously, pre-rotation, Cinderace has Welder, and it's fine. You can just go Houndoom energy smash. And I really like that. I think this is pretty gosh darn good. However, is it going to be good enough? That's my question here. Because good players, most of the time, are not going to attack into you if it's going to hurt them. They will attack into you, but not if it's going to end up coming back to bite them. But then again, that's where we come back to being a single strike Pokemon. Because you've got Houndoom and single strike energy, and you've got Emboar, which means you do an extra 30 damage, and you've got Karen's Belief, which does 20 damage for each prize card your opponent has taken, and actually, it's 20 plus, but it's not really 20 plus now, is it, ladies and gentlemen? And that's kind of my point here. Being a single strike Pokemon and being able to add this damage is pretty gosh darn good. The other thing to bear in mind, and this for me is a very important point indeed, we don't have, and if I'm wrong about this, please let me know in the comment section, we don't have any other grass single strike Pokemon V. We just don't. We do have Pinsir as a single strike grass Pokemon, but the only attack that's got is free energy 110. I don't think that's something we're going to be getting particularly excited about. We do have Beedrill, but Beedrill here, it is 1 energy 110, I suppose, and discard an energy, so Beedrill's kind of cool, but it's also a stage 2 and it's kind of fragile, so it's not perfect. We've got Heracross, but Heracross, it can do 200 if you flip 2 coins and they both come up heads, which I really don't think is something we want to be relying on. And then we've got Abomasnow, which is free energy 90. Like, Pinsir and Abomasnow have nice abilities. Pinsir takes away your resistance, Abomasnow gives you an extra 50 HP. But the fact of the matter is, the only even remotely decent grass single strike Pokemon we've got is Beedrill, and that's a stage 2. And this is extremely important, because as far as I'm concerned, that gives us a niche for Breloom here. It is, if you are playing a single strike deck, and you want to have a single strike grass Pokemon, this is it. Seriously, this is the best option if you want an attacker. Now, as for the second attack, 2 grass, 1 colorless, 140, this is where we get to the annoying stage where Houndoom can't let you pay it in 1 turn. And that's a little bit sad, because it means that you've got to take 2 turns building it up. It's not so much of a surprise. Having said that, the first attack you have to take damage, so that's not much of a surprise. It's awkward, I'll be honest with you. Sure, you can, have some energy switch shenanigans, but I don't think that's something we should really be relying on. Of course, if you start combining Cherrim and energy switch, you're going to have a lot of fun, but we are getting into slightly silly territory here. Now, going back to the first attack, do remember that if you heal the damage off, you still get to do the extra. It's not an outrage attack. It is how much you took last turn. Having said that, if you want an outrage attack, you've got Single Strike Scroll of Scorn, given that you are a Single Strike Pokemon, so that'll do 10 plus 10 more for each damage counter on you if that's what you're looking for. And basically, this is the best Single Strike Grass Pokemon we've seen. I don't know if that says much about how good it actually is, but if you want an attacker, it's Stage 2 Beedrill, or this. And you know what? For that alone, I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. These gym promo Pokemon Vs tend to be terrible, and you can certainly look at this and go 3 energy, 140 is not enough, and the first attack can be easily played around. But also you can look at this and go, look, if I'm a single strike player making a single strike deck and I want a basic single strike Pokemon, this is going to be my best option. So you know what? I'm kind of alright with that. Incidentally, if Pinsir was grass double colourless, I might lean towards Pinsir, but it's not, so who cares? If you can flip double heads with Heracross, Heracross becomes the best option, but no. I know that Abomasnow is grass double colourless, but it's only 90 damage and it's a stage 1, let's not get overly excited. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I think about Breloom V, but I want to know what you think about Breloom V. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.